have to write anything down. I can kind of go all off the dome. So, as she stated, I've been in Aldine a good bit now. I'm like what I like to call myself an Aldine OG, because I was in Aldine from pre-K to 12th grade. So I've been on every side of Aldine, and I kind of just want to talk about my journey through Aldine, my experience, and it will kind of relate to why I'm here today. Because little do they know, but the people who have helped me be here, like Ms. Trevino Garcia and my high school counselor, Ms. Brown, has little to no knowledge of exactly how personal this experience is, because literally I would not be standing where I am right now if it wasn't some of the people in this very room. It's actually good to see some of my old teachers, some of my old counselors, and I'm just gonna kind of get to it. So I started off at Vines Pre-K Center at Acres Homes. I then made a hard switch and went to the east side of Aldine. For anybody that knows, that's kind of a hard culture shock. I was at Carroll Elementary, where my counselors was Miss Tangela Griggs right here. Starting off at Carroll, I started off in the bilingual program, so it was kind of confusing for a young black boy like me. You know, my mom was walking me up to everybody, say something in Spanish, say something in Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás, mi amor? You know, it's kind of showing me off. You know, it was kind of different being in a new environment. However, I had a sister who was at school with me. She was 2 years ahead of me, and she had developed this friend. This friend did not look like us. She was not a student. I was like, who is this lady that I keep seeing every day? And she was always so bubbly, so happy. She talked to me like she knew who I was. And she didn't talk to me like a child. You know, when I was little, I thought I was grown. So I wanted grown people to talk to me like I was grown. And this was the only adult I had found would talk to me like I meant something. We would have actual conversations, even if it was about the craziest thing in the world. I remember asking questions as simple as, where do I go after 4th grade? Because all I can see is 4th grade. Like, is there a 13th grade? Is there a 14th grade? And she would entertain my every little question. And then this relationship soon became not just student-teacher. I can recall waiting for my mom after school. If I missed the bus, I was in Ms. Griggs' room. Let's just say I got in trouble. I wasn't the baddest student, I wasn't. But if I just needed to step out the classroom, my friend I knew I could go to was Ms. Griggs. And soon, like I said, this relationship developed more than just a student-teacher. Eventually, she became family. And her family became my family, and my family became her family. I eventually ended up having dinner at her house. I was staying there all night because my mama loved to talk. My mom is an educator as well in Aldine. She's been, her whole educating career, she's been in Aldine. So I've had a great experience with meeting so many different caring and loving people in Aldine. And it started all right there with just somebody that I had just met as a school teacher. Not many people can say they've been to a school teacher's house and had dinner and met their husband, met their daughters, went to graduations. Now this is a going on 12-year relationship, and it's crazy because it literally started so small. Now my journey as I go through my schools is going to get a little entertaining, I guess you could say, because I didn't stay at Carroll for long. Unfortunately, Aldine had removed the bilingual program, and so since I was in the magnet program, I could kind of bounce around wherever I was. So I then made my transition after 1st grade at Carroll Elementary to Raymond Elementary. Shout out to Miss Moore right here. This is where I started off, and Miss Shalandra Moore was my counselor at Raymond Elementary. And again, being in a surrounding where I didn't see many people that looked like me started to take a toll on me. Most of my friends and most of my teachers who I looked around, since it was on the east side of Aldine, they were more Hispanic people rather than people who looked like me. So me, I adapted to the culture. I was trying to wear my hair like it. I was listening to all the same music. I just wanted to be like my friends. So I was really adapting to the culture, and I would go home, I would tell my mom, I was like, Mom, I want some Gorilla Glue. She's like, what is Gorilla? Oh no, not Gorilla Glue, Gorilla Snot, you know, the gel. She was like, what you need Gorilla Snot for? I want to do my hair like my friends, you know. got the spikes. I like that. I want my hair to do it. She's like, baby, your hair not gonna do that. I was like, okay. So as I go on at Raymond, second grade goes on, third grade, fourth grade, I started to experience difficulties with getting along with the people I was around. Unfortunately, I was going through a good amount of teasing from my friends because I didn't look like them. It started to take a huge toll on me, and I would go home and I would tell my mom and my brother and my sister, who were also in Aldine at the time, and they were a bit older, and they had kind of developed and matured, so they was just like, oh, well, they saying this, just say this back, say this. Oh, they own you, just get on them back, just say something about them. And me, I was a bit of a softie when I was little, so I was like, it didn't feel right to me. I didn't feel right saying something bad about somebody else because I didn't have anything bad to say. I was truly a genuine, caring child. And so I was just like, no, I'm just not like them. I'm not gonna do that. So days went on, weeks went on, I was just enduring through it. And it was about time my mom had kind of got tired of hearing it, kind of hit a breaking point in about fourth grade. Now you're telling a fourth grade student that, he basically has to continue going on what he's going on, because I didn't want my mom to come to the school and embarrass me, like, nah, that's gonna make me, I'm not gonna be cool. They're gonna be like, oh, you a snitch. They gonna talk about me even more. So I never told my mom to come to the school, but unfortunately, eventually I hit a breaking point. And so that's when my mom made a call to the school counselor. Now, everybody knew Miss Moore on campus. She made it very known she was not to be played with. We did not want to end up in Miss Moore's office. And so I was like, oh man, she done called Miss Moore. I'm really finna be in trouble. And as soon as I hit Miss Moore's office, I felt nothing but love and support. What I thought was going to be a very scary experience turned out to be the exact thing I needed. Because whenever I got into office and she brung everybody in who, was playing a part in what I was going through, she made it real simple. She said, now either somebody about to say what's going on or all y'all about to be in trouble. And so I started looking, I was like, well, I ain't about to be in trouble. So I went ahead and said my piece. And from then on, Ms. Moore never let anybody mess with me while I was still at Raymond Academy. She made sure anytime she saw me, she was asking how was I doing. She was asking me, was I okay? Are them kids still messing with you? Because I'll go get them right now. I was like, nah, they not messing with me no more. I'm good. It even developed even further. My mom had raising 3 kids. She taught special ed, starting at Shotwell, then at Lewis. So she was always running around, always busy. She was very involved with her school. So sometimes it would be late days, her helping out with students and her parents and their parents. So sometimes she would be a little late picking me up. I can recall times where I most definitely stayed after school in Miss Moore's office. I'm sure she probably did met my mom a couple times on the Beltway, taking me home. Just another relationship that wasn't just counselor and student. Because I'm gonna be honest, as I continue to go through school, you hear counselors, okay, your counselors are supposed to be there. If you need something, you go to your counselor. If you need to talk about something, you go to your counselor. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not always like that. Coming from a student perspective, we don't always feel comfortable, especially with pride, with things we go on now today. It's already hard enough to talk about what you're going through. So to have somebody come in and really develop a connection with you when it's not even forced. It's not even about what you're going through. It's more so just making the connection, which made it so easy for me to begin to talk about how I felt. Because Lord knows, had Ms. Moore not stepped in like she did in 4th grade, where would I be today? How would I feel on the inside? How would I be able to express my emotions? How would I be able to continue to go on? And it's just small instances like that. Another, not just teacher, but family friend now developed just at 4th grade. And we got about 7 more years to go. So I leave Raymond Elementary. So shout out to Miss Shalonja Moore right here. I leave Raymond Elementary. My mom said, no, we're not gonna keep you on this side all day. Let's put you on the other side of all things. So now I am at Houston Academy, and I had the privilege and honor to be one of the students of Miss Shauna Shotwell, who is no longer with Aldine, but she really, really, really stepped in and showed out. I began to become a part of the step team they had at Houston, the Gents. And so I thought I was cool. I had my Gents jacket. I was walking around campus like I was hot, you know. And Miss Shotwell kept it real with us at all times, being a strong lead, a strong woman lead over a group of boys. She really set the example. She let us know these jackets, they are not to be seen on no girl. Y'all don't need to be going around doing this and this in your gents attire because they are looking at you. And what I didn't realize then, she was setting us up for how the world is. She would tell us there's a target on your back when you wear that jacket. There's a target on your back when you wear these letters. And she told us, she got real with us one day. She said, there was a target on you before you put that jacket on. And at the time, I was like, Miss Shotwell, you tripping. Like, you doing too much. We in 5th grade. Like, ain't nobody looking for me. And I'm like, Miss Shotwell, you tripping. Like, you know, we're doing what children will do. And so as the time went on, we started to develop a closer and closer connection with Miss Shotwell. And 6th grade came around. I started doing step team more heavy. Again, staying after school. I don't know why, but I really should have just became an employee of Aldine because I was at school every day, all day. I went home when the last person went home, but it wasn't because I had to. It's because teachers like the one sitting in this room had made an environment for me to where I didn't feel like I wasn't at home. When I was going to school, I am at home. I'm around my friends. I'm around people I can call family. I am at home. So I wasn't tripping. I was like, Mama, whenever you get off, I'll call you, and then you can come. But if you need to stay and talk some, you can, because I'm going to be chilling at Houston. So just let me know. So it became a very inviting environment for me. So Miss Shauna Shotwell carried me from 5th grade all the way until I graduated. And as you started to see, there's a trend. Everybody I've encountered, every counselor I hit, they just tend to stay around. And this is support that I constantly needed. Because anytime, even whenever I left Houston, and Miss Shotwell retired not too long after I left Houston, when I left Houston, she was coming up to Drew whenever I went on to Drew Academy, making sure everything was straight like she worked. I'm like, Miss Shotwell, you can't just come up here and start doing these people's job. Like, you do not work here, but she did not care. If it was about her boys, she was there. She was going to the offices, talking to teachers. Okay, what's going on right here? Why you ain't do this? Oh, okay, he's gonna get it done. All right, boom, just like that. Ever since I met her, she has been like that. She still calls me to this day. Trysten, how you doing? Okay, how's school? You going back? All right. And she always keep it real. She never gonna fake the funk with you. And I love that. I love her for that because that developed, like I said, the life lessons. How she told us when we were in 5th and 6th grade that there are targets on us. As I began to become a young man, I started to realize those targets. I started to realize some of those things as I look around and see what's going on in the world. I start to see the other young black men who have been targeted, the other young men, period, who have targets on their backs. And as I started to assume certain positions, I started to see the responsibilities that she talked about that I would have to have soon, that she developed in me. The seed she planted in me in 5th grade was now helping me get through obstacles that I'm going through as 19 as of last Monday. So I am now a 19-year-old young man traveling through life, and I'm trying to cling on to lessons I've learned. And the only thing I can hear is there will be a target on your back. Do not give them anything else that they can say about you that can hinder you and hinder your growth. And they would always tell me, you got so much potential, you got so much potential. And before I learned what potential was, I'd be like, why everybody keep telling me this? And it'd always be random. I'm just walking in the hallway, you got a calling on your life, boy. Like, it's 12:30, it's things that I didn't understand then, but they saw my future before I did. And so they saw where I was going and they saw what I needed so that I can continue to navigate through the obstacles that they knew were coming before I did. And like I said, to this day, she still calls me, still makes sure I'm doing okay. I call her, she's living her days, taking her swim lessons in her retirement life. And I'm just like, man, you would think just a student to teacher relationship now is a student to about fifth mama relationship. So I go on to Carver High School where I ended my education journey in Aldine. And in Carver, you got about 2 or 3 strands you can pick out of performing arts. Oh, it's really 2, performing arts or engineer. Me, I was performing arts. I decided to start developing my acting career in my very, very early 9th grade year. And coming up through the vertical and on that side of Aldine, I remember going to leave school, we'll take field trips, we're going to go see the show at Carver, we're going to go see the musical at Carver. And I remember walking down the street, down Carver Road, talking to my friends, like, man, like, you got to see this show, it's finna be cool, we ain't gotta go to class, like, you think they're gonna let us stay a little bit longer, ask some questions. And me, I wasn't even interested in acting, but people always told me I was a character, so I was like, well, maybe, that looked kind of fun. I was like, okay, so I got to Drew, I started doing theater, and so when I got to Carver, it got real serious. They was like, this is not a game. At first it was drama, and then it turned into theater. I was like, whew. It was like, this is not drama anymore. I was like, oh man, what have I got myself into? So 9th grade comes along, and I meet this real, it seemed like her mind was always busy. I met Miss Phyllis Brown in the back there. Shout out to Miss Phyllis Brown, my last counselor. I was like, man, this lady is mean. I was like, I'm 14 in 9th grade. She's in the hallway giving out our GPAs. This is like my first encounter. And I had been hearing about her. And, at the beginning of the school year, they was like, man, don't go to change your classes. I was like, what you mean? He was like, man, they got a counselor up in there, man. She's not even gonna let you change it. I was like, for real? I was like, she was tripping like that? He was like, man, she tripping. I was like, man. So I'm thinking, man, that's somebody else. I'm gonna have to, another obstacle I'm gonna have to go through. I'm like, all right, whatever. So she in the hallway, and I'm seeing how she kind of, how she reacts and how she works with the upperclassmen and our teachers. And I'm like, okay, she seemed cool. Like, I kind of stood back and I was like, all right, how am I do this? Because my mama taught me how to network. Some people call it how to fake my words. I ain't gonna say the real word, but my mama told me how to say what people want to hear. So me, I'm trying to figure out what would she want to hear. So I'm like, all right. So I go up to her, I give her my last name. Williams. First name, Trysten. How you spell it? T-R-Y-S-T. Oh, here you are. Now look, this is your GPA. And this is your class rank. Me, as a freshman, I'm like, what? I don't know what none of this is. And I was scared to ask questions. So I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you. Walked away. I was like, whew, okay, it wasn't too bad. And then I saw her laugh. I was like, what? Congregating with the people. I'm like, she cracking jokes. I'm like, maybe she's not too bad. But I realized I had to work for that. So as I began to work and really, really work, I stayed at the school all day, all night. I know since I've been at Carver, I have not left school earlier than 5 o'clock. I stayed at school all day, all night, because I saw the people before me. I saw the big shots on campus, and I wanted to be like them. I guess it's the Leo in me, but I was like, I want to be that guy. And as I started to, work and I started to get more accolades, I started to become more involved in theater, I got in advanced class. And that's when you really get to know Ms. Brown. Because it's like, if you're in the performing arts straight, all right, she's gonna look after you. But once you get in an advanced class, oh, now she on you. She got a record. It's in her drawer. She got a sticky note for everybody. I'm just like, okay, she got an advanced class. I'm like, all right. It's going cool. And, classes start getting a little harder. So, sometimes teachers, they don't be putting in grades. Y'all know how it is. The teacher ain't put in the grades yet. So I'm just sitting in class. This is about the first time it happened. I get a call, the phone ringing in the room. I'm not minding it. Trysten, Miss Brown wants to see you. I'm like, okay, Miss Brown. Oh, the lady. Okay. Well, I don't know why Miss Brown wants to see me. So I'm walking. She said, close my door. Oh, Lord. I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, what is this? She turned that computer around. She's like, you need to get this together because UIL is coming up. And I was like, Miss Brown, I'm gonna be eligible. She was like, Trysten, I am not playing with you. If you are not eligible, we're gonna have a problem. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I know she did not. But you know me, yes ma'am. I'm so sorry, yes ma'am, I'll get it done right away. And ever since that day, it has always been the same thing. I could go to Miss Brown's office when I'm late to school. If I ain't feel like going to class, she'll talk to me for a little bit, and then she gonna send me on my way. But she would just be more than a teacher, more than a counselor, more than an educator. She would be somebody who ended up being my support system all through high school. If there was something wrong, and oh my gosh, when I tell you this lady pulled through for COVID, I was a senior going through school in COVID, and she made sure every little thing I had, all my T's were crossed and all my I's were dotted, every single thing. She sent me scholarships every week, and she didn't just send me scholarships that I just looked at. She sent me scholarships I had to fill out. She started making them requirements. She started putting plans and teachers, hey, make sure Trysten do that scholarship, or if you don't, then give him a low grade on the stuff. But she would just really be on me, and I was like, Miss Brown, you're always on me. But then I started to see what she was doing. She was making sure I had in line what so many people didn't, because she saw that potential. She saw that thing that everybody all my life kept saying I had, but I couldn't see. And she was like, well, you gonna be something. You gonna get through this. You gonna be something big. I can see it. And until she told me, I always just thought Miss Brown was just hard on me. And then she started to talk to my mama. She got my sister through, because we went to the same schools again. Whenever graduation came around, she made sure she looked after us. We had the whole west side of Mo Campbell. I was like, how y'all get that many tickets? I was like, I don't even know. And I'm just like, I really don't know why, but Miss Brown is just coming through right now. By the time my junior year rolled around, she had made sure everything I had academically was in line. So anytime I started to slip up, my teachers was getting mad at me. They was like, if Miss Brown called me one more time, asking me about your grades, you need to get it together. I was like, I'm gonna get it together. And I knew if I got called to that office, it was something serious. Or sometimes it became to just be something cool. And then Miss Brown started putting me on. She was like, Trysten, do you want to do convocation? I'm like, what is convocation? And she was like, it's like an event that they have whenever the teachers going back to school. And I was like, it was a partnership with her and my theater director. She was, the Carver Performing Arts, they were performing at convocation. And I remember Ms. Brown, she was kind of like just really on me about doing it and really making sure I was like paying attention. And as I started to be more involved, I got an offer to be on the superintendent ambassador board from Dr. Goffin. And I was like, man, that's a great opportunity. So as that started to go on, she started giving me certain things to do. And I remember I was just sitting there and somebody called me. I'm like, hello. They was like, hi, this is such and such from Aldi and ISD. So I'm just giving my number out to people. And I'd just be like, okay. But doors started to open. I started to be able to be the host of certain events, the master of ceremonies for certain events. I started meeting more people, gaining more connections. And even till this day, Ms. Brown is the reason I am here right now. Still giving me connections, still giving me love and support. And so I say all this to say my story in Aldi has all came full circle from 3 educators in this room that you can see, but so many that you can't. And so it makes it very vital that if I had not met all these people that I've just named in this story, I literally would not be where I am today. And even in Atlanta, Ms. Brown is still making connections for me. Even in Atlanta, Ms. Griggs is still texting me, sliding up on my story, showing me all the love and support. Yes, man, more all the time. And I'll never be more appreciative of the family and the support and the backbone that I've developed. So as you go into your year this year, counselors, make sure you're just not developing the student-teacher relationships, because it's the true connections that really thrust a child's life forward. And I am a living witness. So I just want to thank you guys for all that you do. And I want to wish you guys the best year possible, a safe year and a fun year. And again, thank you so much.